And yes, I'm live this morning because I have a class now. Like we all know, most of our students are on break in US, in Canada, and all of that. Give me a moment. I think I need to accept this. I'll be back. Hello, hi Miss Grace. How are you? Yeah, it's good to have you. Okay. I wanted to end the live stream because okay, I my plan this morning was to teach. I had a student from Ireland, so I wanted to teach this morning, like join my class, right? But as it's like this now, the mom just I just received the mom's call. It was the mom I was talking to. That's why I muted the microphone. So I just received her call, and she said that the class they are working on their internet, so the class is not going to hold till like maybe later in the evening. So we'll have to do the live stream like later in the evening. But it's okay, it's good to have you here. I hope you're doing good. I want to even see those teachers that can even join the live stream. So the ones that are free and the ones that are working from anywhere. Okay, welcome to the live stream. If you're just joining, please tell me where you're watching from. I'm sure you guys are receiving notification that Miss Blessing is live. So sorry. I thought today's class is going to work. Okay. But I have another class by 3. Maybe by 3 o'clock, I'm going to come up live again. I just want to share. I just wanted to share how I teach today, but apparently it didn't work like that. So I'd already prepared my lesson slides using Gamma app, and I think maybe I should just walk you guys through how I prepare my lessons today, right? Yes, from Akure. Hi, Miss Grace, all the way from Akure. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for joining. Did you receive notification? Did you receive my live stream notification? Please let me know. Miss Grace, did you receive my live stream notification? Yeah, let me know. If you're just joining, oh yes, you did. Okay. That's good. That's good. That means you turned on your notification. I like that. Thank you so much for trusting Miss Blessing. All right. Okay. So what I had in mind or what I prepared to do today was to teach online. Like while I'm teaching, you hear the children's voices. Watch how I actually interact with my students when it comes to teaching, but unfortunately the class just got cancelled. This is like 15 minutes or 10 minutes to the class time and the class just got cancelled. So that's not going to happen. Anyways, I'm still going to continue the live stream. I'm going to walk you through or teach you guys how you can if you have a new parent and you don't have the scheme of work from the school, how you can actually plan yourself or plan your lessons um, as a tutor, right? Okay. So if you are new to the online, please, if you are just joining, please tell me where you're watching from. Thank you for joining. I love to connect with you. Please tell me where you're watching me from so that we can converse, right? Or we can relate. Yes. So I was saying I was going to teach you if you're new. For instance, this student I got is a new student from Ireland, and they I don't have their school scheme. And even when I asked the mom was like, she doesn't have the school scheme because the school had not yet given her the school students are on break, right? Hi. Oh, famous. It's good to meet you. Or it's good to have you on the live stream. Welcome to the live stream, Mr. Famous Idahosa. Welcome to the live stream. Okay. All right. So I was explaining earlier that I wanted to teach, like I wanted to teach a class, but the class just got cancelled 10 minutes to the class time, all the way from Lagos. It's good to have you. So the class just got cancelled. However, I'm still going to teach you guys what I have in mind. I'm going to teach you how to get your scheme of work and how to plan your lessons using two things, two major apps that you're going to use, or two major, is it two or three? Okay, three places that you are going to use to create your lesson for the day, or your plan your slides for the day. One is going to be IXL, the second one is Chatgpt, and the third one is Gamma. Gamma is an app. It's a browser. On your browser, just type Gamma, GAMMA. Okay, Gamma app. All right. So these are the two sites that I'm going to be teaching you how you can use, or how you can use them, yes, to structure your lessons, right? Like structure your plan your lessons. So this particular parent, like I said, reached out to me, and I don't have the student scheme of work. So I quickly went to the first site, which was IXL. Okay, so I went to IXL, and from IXL I was able to from IXL I was able to see the scheme of work for that particular grade. Now I realized that Ireland's scheme is different from the way we usually call our own. In UK, you will see reception year one, year two, year three, year four, year five, year six, like that. In US, you will see it as kindergarten, grade one, grade two, grade three, grade four, grade five, grade six, like that, like that, like that. But in Ireland now, I'm seeing junior infant, senior infant, first class, second class, third class. So you need to understand what class, because what the mom told me, the mom just told me that, oh, she's in this grade. And when I got to where checking the scheme on IXL, I was saying first class, second class, third class. I started asking myself, which grade is this one? So I quickly went on ChatGPT and I was like, a grade nine student in the, or a year nine student in the UK should be in what class in Ireland? And that was how ChatGPT was able to help me out. ADX MTB, hi, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here. Please tell me where you're watching from. I like to connect with you. And if you've not subscribed, please click on the like and subscribe button as well. Okay, I'm a teacher and I teach teachers how to teach online, how you can make passive income as an online teacher as well. Instead of just teaching or teaching in physical classroom, you can also do other things that will make you have money, right? So I went to ChatGPT and I asked it, and then it told me that it is third year. Third year is the same thing with grade nine, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went on IXL, I went through what is needed, and I realized that their scheme is quite empty. I don't want to say empty, but there's not so much things in the scheme compared to the UK scheme or the US scheme. They are for the reading and comprehension for a year, you just have only one, two, three, four, five columns. And I'm wondering, why are they doing this for a year? So I asked the mom, and the mom was like, they do more of extracurricular activities in Ireland than, and that's her problem. Her problem is the students are relaxed, or the children are relaxed, because they are not doing as much as either the way they do in the UK or in Nigeria. They don't have that voluminous scheme of work. So they learn very few hours in a day, and the rest is every other thing extracurricular, right? And she noticed that in as much as they're trying, they're average level, which is not what she wants. She wants them to be like high flyers and all of that. So that's why she enrolled with me, or enrolled in in my company for us to have lessons. So um, when I checked this, I wanted to create, like I usually say, when you get a new student and you have done your baseline assessment, which I have done. I've done the baseline assessment. I found out where she's good and what she's not good at. The next thing you want to do is go on ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that you want to create a scheme. Okay, this is what I told ChatGPT when I was telling it to. Let me quickly read out what I wrote. I said I have a ninth grade student in Ireland and I want to create a 3-month learning English scheme using IXL learning plans, and I have 1 hour lessons weekly with the child. And I want the scheme to cover, I want the each month to cover the reading, writing, vocabulary, and grammar. And ChatGPT was able to break it down for me So I have a 3 month plan that I'm going to follow, and I'm going to also share the scheme with the parents. That way, the parents is also going to follow what we're doing. I'm also going to follow what we're doing, and the child is also. We know that we have a goal, or we have some specific goals. For example, for the first class, I think, yeah, the first class is reading and comprehension, which is what we're supposed to do this morning, but the class got cancelled. So the first class is reading and comprehension. The second class is on grammar, sentence fragments, and one on and clauses. And then, hi, tutor. Hey, tutor Ginika, it's been a while. Where have you been? Tutor Ginika, where have you been? What's going on? I hope you're good. Okay. Welcome to the live stream. Okay. All right. Then the second topic was grammar. The third is vocabulary, and then the fourth one is writing. These are the different scheme, or these are the different lesson plans that I have prepared for my students. That at the end of today's class, we are going to, or at the end of the month, we should have touched both reading, writing, vocabulary, and grammar. And if you're a teacher here, an English teacher, ensure that your lesson is structured. If you're a math teacher, also ensure that your lesson is structured with goals, specific goals. So at the end of the month, you're able to tell the parents, in reading, this is what we achieve; in writing, this is what we achieve; in grammar, in vocabulary, this is what we're able to achieve. So that you have a balanced scheme. Okay. The only time maybe you might not be able to achieve all this, maybe a particular topic spills over to the next week and you don't want to leave it. Okay. Or maybe you have five there are some weeks in a month that run into 5 times in a week, right? Or five weeks, yes. Now run sometimes it's some months have 5 weeks, like last month June had 5 weeks, this month July has 5 weeks as well. So if you have lessons that have spilled over into a particular week, then you can go ahead and increase your lessons for that particular week. Okay. And then the part you were not able to cover, touch it again. You could even use the last week as maybe an assessment or something. Okay. Because I know that, like, for example, this week, today is Wednesday. This month of July, all Wednesdays, we have 5 Wednesdays in this month. So I could teach the 4 things that I have planned for the month to the students. Then the last Wednesday, I will now use it to do an assessment. Is that okay? I'll use it to do an assessment of all the things that we have done so far, using the words, using the sentence fragments and grammar and everything that we have learned. I use it to do an assessment. So that is how your lesson should be structured. So when you go on Chatgpt is going to give you a lesson plan for 3 months. I will always advise you do a 3 month lesson plan, so you know that you are progressing with your lesson, or your lesson is progressive. Now, once you are done with that, the next thing you will do is you could now start picking out your lessons, what you want to teach in each lesson. For instance, today I have main idea and inference, audience and purpose. I have already created my slides using Gamma. So if you go on gamma.com, you sign up. I don't know how many of you know how to use Gamma, but if you use Gamma, Gamma is an app we use to create presentation slides. We use Gamma as an app to create presentation slides. So if you go on Gamma, you'll be able to create slides for free. I think they're going to give you some amount of tokens for free that you can use to create presentation slides. But each slide, you cannot make more than 10 slides on Gamma. So it's either you're going to use Gamma, or it's either you're going to use Gamma, or you're going to use what's it called? Chalkie. I don't know if you've watched a video on Chalkie. Please go and watch a video on Chalkie if you've not watched that video. All right. So either you're going to use Gamma or you're going to use Chalkie. Now, still on that Chatgpt, that place where it's created your lesson plan for you, you'll now tell it that it should give you your first lesson, lesson 1. It should give you a slide on lesson 1. Chatgpt is going to give you a slide on lesson 1, and it's even going to break it down per hour, per the hour, or per minute, what you're going to teach for each minute, from your hook to the independent practice, to the I do, you do, we do format, to the homework, ChatGPT is going to give you all you need to do is just copy that part that it gave to you, the script that it has given to you. Then you go on Gamma and paste it in Gamma. Create, do like you want to create a new presentation on Gamma, right? And then you see where they say paste all assessments. Paste it on Gamma, and then Gamma is going to create the slides, the presentation slides for you. Okay. I think maybe I'm going to do a video on it so that everyone can understand what I'm saying, because as I'm just saying it out, it might look like French, or it might sound like what's it called, Spanish. But what you do is, like I said, you just copy it and paste it on Gamma and tell it to create the slide for you. It's now going to create the slide for you. That slide that it has created for you now, you can use it to teach. You can change the fonts in Gamma, and the apps in Gamma, or the theme in Gamma, to make it look professional, and then you use it to teach. Now, when you're done with that, you can also tell ChatGPT to create a worksheet for that particular class or that particular topic for you. It's going to create a worksheet. That worksheet is now what you put on your OneNote as an independent task. You could either tell ChatGPT to create a worksheet, or you could go on your browser and search for worksheets PDF that you can download and insert on your what's it called? You can download and insert on your OneNote, where the child is going to do their independent tasks. For students that are in a higher grade, let me say from in KS3 students, I don't know how many of you know your key stages. So if you don't know key stages, please go and watch the videos on understanding different countries' curriculum, or understanding key stages, right? So if you don't know your key stages, please go and watch, and so that you can understand the key stages. Um, because some companies that you apply to will ask you, what key stage do you teach? You should be able to know if you teach key stage 1 or 2 or 3, or you could just ask ChatGPT to explain key stages in the US, key stages in the UK for you, and key stage in any country that you are looking forward to for you, and it's actually going to explain it. The only thing is that the key stage, the way it is broken down in US, for the UK rather, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and where again, there are four of them: Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. I think their own is quite different from the way other ones are, so you should be able to know the one that is different and all of that. So you could still ask ChatGPT, and it's going to tell you, oh, Aziz John, Aziz, oh, that's Aziz, Aziz John. Hi, welcome to the live stream. I hope you're doing good, and you're doing well today. Please click on the like, subscribe, and share button. All right, so like I was saying, I said when you're done doing all of these things and preparing yourself, the next thing you want to do is the next thing that you would want to your Gamma, prepare your slides, and then you can download it. For Gamma, you can download or you can export it either as a PDF or as a slide, that's as a PPT. You choose the one you want to use, and yeah, you can either do it as a PPT or as a PDF. But most of the time, I usually download it as a PDF so that I can see, or I can actually use it or insert it on my OneNote. Then for the worksheet, you download the worksheet as well, put it on your OneNote, and you can use it. It's not only OneNote you can use, or if you are using Kami, I think you can also insert on Kami. But inserting on Kami, you will need the um for inserting on Kami, I think you will need the paid version, yeah, the pro version of Kami. And that's the reason why I always prefer OneNote, because OneNote is cheaper. Even if you want to pay for more space on OneNote, I think it's 1,000 something naira. It's not so expensive for you to pay for more this thing on the OneNote. All right. So this is how you create your lesson plans. The first place you go to IXL. IXL is going to give you an idea of what the students are learning, or what is expected of students in that particular grade to know and to learn. IXL. Then from IXL, you go to your ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, using IXL, I want you to create a scheme for a 3-month scheme of work for my students in grade this. Always be specific when you're putting your prompts in ChatGPT. Be specific. Now, once it has given you the scheme, tell it that it should give you lesson slide pattern for lesson one. That's the first lesson. It's going to give you the lesson slide pattern for the first lesson. And then you take that lesson slide and put it in your, um, you take the lesson slide and take it to Gamma. You should assume that at this point you have signed up with Gamma. Take the slides, just copy it, paste it on Gamma. Gamma is now going to give you the slides that you can use. Now, when Gamma gives you the slides that you can use, you can export it either as a PDF or as a PowerPoint, and then you use it in your lesson. And like I said, for Gamma, you cannot do more than 10 lessons. Or you could look at what is on your IXL, the topic on the IXL, then go to Chalkie AI. Chalkie AI is free. If you are using the free version, you can create 2 materials. But if you're using the pro version, you have like 200 materials in a month. Okay. And in my group, where all of us are, we are joining money together to do Chalkie. So if you know that you can actually put your money together to do Chalkie, why not go ahead and subscribe for Chalkie? Chalkie, I think for a year is 11,600. So 10 people is 11. So for a year is 116,000. So 10 people coming together to subscribe Chalkie is 11,600. Yeah, 11,600. So you can actually plan for it. You can actually plan for it and um make make yourself available for it. If you have any question, please go ahead, use the chat. If you're new to the online teaching space and you have questions that have been plaguing you, that you have been thinking about how to go through, please also drop it. And if you're not sure of anything, please also let me know in the comments as you're listening. All right. So when you go on Chalkie, you can also put in the topic that you're looking for. Chalkie is also going to create the lesson. Chalkie can create both the lesson slides and the worksheets that you can download and also put on the OneNote that the child is going to use. But remember, when you're creating your lessons should be engaging, because it's the engaging lessons that will make the child want to come back. This particular student, when we did the what's it called, the trial lesson, she's above average. She's doing very very well. She's above average, and we were able to um establish that in the first class. So now I know that when I'm creating worksheets or I'm doing anything for her, I'm doing it for a higher level student. Because if you are teaching, you should be able to you should use the differentiation method. There are some students that are very good. Some of them, okay, let's start with this. Some of them are struggling, some of them are very good, some of them are average, sorry, and then some of them are very good. There are 3 levels to it. So know the level at which your student is, so that when you're creating your worksheet, you'll be able to create the worksheet based on their understanding or their knowledge base or their knowledge level. Is that okay? And if you're just joining, please, I can see more people have joined. Please click on the like, subscribe, share button. Tell me where you're watching from. I want to converse with you and I want to relate with you as well. So I have been able to establish how I used to create my lessons. And another thing is, for higher grade students, I prefer to use um what's it called, articles. I prefer to use already made articles on the internet, from the internet. So I for my comprehension, I could go on places like Newseller, Common Leads, Dogo News, BBC News, Read Theory, National Geographic. Yeah, National Geographic is another very good place where you can see articles for your students. Smith's Magazine, I think, then maybe the New York Times. These are places where I know that I can go and get articles that I use for my students' comprehension. Because, for if you're teaching Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, their comprehension most of the time I've gotten from articles, and those are the things they will tell them to write, to learn how to write articles, newspaper reports, letters, right? These are the things that they will focus on the most. So it's best that when you're doing your comprehension and those ones should work together. If you're a math tutor, it's best that you use what's it called, it's best that you use the IXL, know what they're supposed what you're supposed to teach them, and use it to follow their curriculum, or use it to follow them up, so that when they now get to a higher grade, they're not going to struggle. Okay, they're not going to struggle. So these are the things that you need to know. And again, engaging lessons very important. You are asking more of the questions, they are doing more of the answering. They are talking 30%, they are talking 70%. I was in an interview yesterday where somebody was doing, it was actually teaching, we were supposed to do an assessment, but the teacher was teaching rather than asking questions. Sometimes allow your students to answer, like let them express themselves. When a student is able to express themselves, they have more, they are more comfortable with you, and they know, they feel heard. Let me put it like that. Yeah, they feel heard, and then they feel safe. So in our classes, or in your class rather, ensure that you have all of these things planned out. You schedule your, or you plan your lessons, because if your lesson does not have a plan, does not have a goal, you are just wasting your time. Okay, you are just wasting your time, and it doesn't make sense if, it will make sense if a parent pays you money and then they are not seeing the result as expected. Okay, they're not seeing the result as expected. So it is very important that you it is very important that um you have your lessons planned and organized, not just uh, doing anything that comes to your mind. All right. Okay. So if you're just joining, oh, more people have joined. That's nice. Please click on the like, subscribe, share button, and tell me where you're watching from. I want to connect with you as well. I was explaining about how you can structure your lessons using IXL, Chatgpt, Gamma, or Chalkie to create your slides, to create your lesson slides. Okay, I think another place where you can get your lesson slides from is Canva. Yeah, but Canva slides are really basic. I prefer Canva for EYFS teachers. If you're an EYFS teacher or a Key Stage 1 teacher, Canva is your go-to, because they have very colorful, beautiful slides there on Canva. But if you are a Key Stage 2 teacher, I would suggest you stay on Oak National Academy, um, Oak National Academy, IXL, Wayground. Wayground is like for everybody. So yeah, if you've not used Wayground before, please go and check it. So Wayground is another wonderful place where you can get materials. I have a video on Wayground. I have a video on Chalky. I have a video on IXL. Please check my videos and watch them. You'll be able to understand all these things I'm saying, so that it doesn't look like you are confused at any point. Okay, so please, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. Go ahead and ask me. The plan today was me to teach while for me to teach while you guys are watching and listening to how my lessons are engaging. So I think I'm going to do another live stream again in the evening around 5 p.m. I have a class by 3. I don't know if I'll be able to stream that class, but I have a class by 5, and then I have another class by 7. So maybe we're going to join. Well, I'm going to join either by 3 or by 6. 3 or 5. Okay. Anyways, if I'm live, I'm going to also put it out on the group so that everyone can join. All right. So I'll see you again in our next class. Okay, let me Grace says, please, how can I help a KS1 pupil build a writing skill? She's really struggling to write meaningful sentences in a story. Okay, so for a key stage 1 student, most of the time when you are doing comprehension for Key Stage 1 students, or you are doing writing, sorry, for Key Stage 1 students, it's advised that they learn how to write sentences first. Learn how to write sentences. Now, learning how to write sentences starts from what their ability to comprehend. It starts from your comprehension or their comprehension. Okay, if you do a comprehension passage with this child that talks about a very short comprehension, for instance, maybe our writing task this month is composition about myself, right? Composition about myself. I will get a comprehension passage that has that kind of composition about myself. Okay, where someone or maybe a story that talks about someone's self, when someone talks about themselves. Now, with that idea of the comprehension, I will now be able to tell her, did you remember our comprehension we did? That is what I want you to do. Now, you will also have to create a mind map. There's what we call a mind map. So if you go on your browser, or your Google browser, just search for comprehension about myself mind map. You see a lot of mind maps to come up. So if the child is able to get the mind map or understand, oh, what is my name? In the mind map, you see the child, maybe a circle, and then you see your name, your school, your favorite food, your siblings or your family, your best holiday, or something interesting, something about you. If the child is able to tell you, my name is this, the name of my school is this is this. If the child is able to say it, let the child write it in a sentence. That thing that the child is saying, the child should be able to write it in a sentence, or the child should write it in a sentence. What is your name? My name is, and the child will write the child's name. Remember, they're in grade 1, so you're taking it easy with them, right? So she is now going to, okay, Swan. Then the child will not is now going to be able to write those sentences. Miss Grace, I hope you're following me. The child will now be able to write the sentence, the first sentence, my name is this, the name of my school is this. They should be able to write it out in sentences first. Okay. Now, when they finish writing the composition about themselves, then they will not put it together in a paragraph. You have achieved something, right? Now, if it is a story that you are doing, like I said, the comprehension passage you will first of all give the child to read, or you and the child will do together. It should be a short story talking about maybe an adventure or something, or maybe an experience. Are you with me? And when the child is done with that, you need to take it slowly. Now, you're not going to tell the child, okay, who was the character in the story? The child will tell you the character. Now tell the child to form their own character. If you want to write a story, what is your own, or who will be your own character? Tell me the name of the person. The child will write it. It could be an animal or a person. The child will write it down. Very good. Where did the story take place? Now you are teaching the child, what is it called? Short story elements. In a short story element, or in every story, there will be a setting. Setting has to do with your time and place. There will be your characters. There will be the problem of the story. There will be how the problem was solved, and the ending of the story. Do you understand? There might even be a moral lesson. So if you're able to pick all of these things in the comprehension passage that the child will read, then you now tell the child to follow that pattern. Follow the pattern. Once the child is able to follow the pattern, the child will get it right. That's it. Okay, so like I said, it's little by little. Start with the comprehension, or the comprehension passage. It could be a very short passage, 2 paragraph, 3 paragraph, not so much, that the child will be able to pick out the things from the story. Then use those things that she has picked out, like the character, the settings, to actually create their own. Then you're good to go. Is that okay? You're welcome. Here, I've solved the problem. I'm happy. Okay, if you have any more questions, go ahead and ask. I'm going to end this live stream because I'm going to come back live again in the evening. Let's see. I'll be doing a lot of live stream this period. I'll be doing a lot of live stream this period. I think somebody reminded me that I stopped doing before. I used to do live stream every week. I would do like 3 live streams. I now reduced my pace. Last month was really, really hectic for me. So I reduced my pace. But this month I'm back. I'm back. Like I said, I'm back. So this is how you plan your lessons, and this is how you structure it. If you go on your browser, search for mind map, you'll be able to get it. Math teachers, people don't used to ask questions. Math and science teachers, people should well done. Ask questions. So for science teachers, if you're trying to create interactive science lessons, search for FET simulation, search for BBC Bite Size. Yes, simulations in BBC Bite Size is going to open. You can use it for free. These ones you can use them for free. Okay. Then if you are a Key Stage 1 UIFS teacher, you could search, or you could use phonics and stuff. There are a lot of them. I think I put some of them there. KS5 Learning. I put some of them in the group. Yeah, so you could check those ones and actually use them. YouTube videos are also very good. But please, if you are playing a video in your class, your video should not be more than 5 minutes. In an online class, your video should not be more than 5 minutes. I joined a class where the teacher was playing a video for 15 minutes. Please, the child has gone. The child has left you. Your video should not be more than 5 minutes, and the video should also be very interactive. That way, you know that, okay, your child is, or your student is listening, or your student is following you. Is that okay? Can BBC bite-sized lessons slide be downloaded? No. No, you cannot download from BBC by side. You have to learn on the app, or you have to share the app to learn it. If you want to get the best out of BBC bite size, it's best to use a VPN, because there are some things that will not open for us in our country or our region. So if you want to use the best if you want to get the best out of BBC bite size, it's best to use a VPN. But no, you cannot download the slides from there. You will learn on the app. Okay. Same thing with okay, no, Waygram you can download, but BBC by side no. Fed simulation too you cannot download, but you can do whatever you're doing on the app. So another thing you can, yeah, you're welcome. VPN, yes, yes. Another thing you can use is um I don't think it's feasible, but let me just leave that. But yes, you can download from any other place, but FET and BBC, you have to learn while using their applications. Okay. Any questions so far? Any other question? Any other question? I'll see you guys by 5 p.m. I'm going to come back live by 5 p.m. Thank you for joining this short live stream. By 5, we're going to go from 5 to 6, 6 to 7. So we're going to do 2 hours together. So get ready for Miss Blessing. We're going to be doing 2 hours by 5 p.m. The 5 p.m. class is a group class, and then the second one is an individual class, and we're going to be working together. Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. See you by 5 p.m. Okay, we are waiting. All right. Okay, see you by 5 p.m. Bye.